we've been talking about the lies from the right that are claiming this shutdown happened because Democrats want free health care for illegals, where it's literally in the statute where that can't happen and it won't happen. What do you make of the lies being put forth by the right, making these false claims?
It's desperate narrative control. Right wingers constantly want to drive attention by saying crazy things and then use that attention to control the narrative about quote unquote illegal aliens wanting healthcare. But as you said, it doesn't work that way. It's by definition illegal. It genuinely does not work that way. Democrats are simply demanding an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies, premium subsidies. And Donald Trump essentially wants to enact a Trump healthcare tax that raises the cost of healthcare for some of the most vulnerable Americans. So you see them out there posting these crazy AI videos. Donald Trump, in desperation, not only posted a video of Hakeem Jeffries that was AI and Chuck Schumer that was AI, but a few days ago he posted that MedBed AI video. You guys saw that? And Caroline Leavitt and JD Vance during their presser today spent like a quarter of the presser having to answer for Trump's AI videos that he doesn't clarify are AI. So it's insane that we're barreling towards a government shutdown and they're desperately trying to control the narrative. I think that we need strong leaders out there really hammering home the truth. And I see that from the Democrats at times. Sometimes I'm disappointed by the Democrats.
Yeah, I am too, at times, but I don't think we certainly can't blame them for this government shutdown right now. But I do agree with you. Sometimes I'm disappointed in the Democrats as well. What do you make? You mentioned this AI video, Adam. What do you make of JD Vance, Caroline Leavitt, Mike Johnson in response to it? Oh, it's funny. It's a joke. It's humor, which I find despicable because I don't think racism is funny in any way, shape, or form. What do you make of their response to it?
Obviously, the racism is despicable. But as I was saying on CNN, there's a larger problem here where Donald Trump has this plausible deniability where he can say something insane, then always put the clown nose back on and say, oh, I'm just joking. I'm not actually the president of the United States. When his quote unquote jokes are like tweeting at Pam Bondi saying, I want you to target this opponent. I want you to pull this show off the air, Brendan Carr. And then we see it happen. It doesn't seem like these are jokes, but it's annoying how his supporters endlessly hide behind these jokes. Meanwhile, if AOC made a joke and she like misspoke during it or something, this would be a 3-week news cycle where Democrats are stirring up violence. But then Donald Trump can on a daily basis say that Chicago needs to be invaded by the Department of War, but that's a quote unquote joke somehow. So just to bring it back, the fact that they go out there and they try to run defense for the president by saying it's a joke is expected. That's their job, is to run defense and spin. But it's just a disgusting indictment of where our politics are, that they're saying that he can just joke about everything.
Unfortunately, yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think it's despicable. Donald Trump, again, was talking about a possible government shutdown. As you know, this could be looming right around the corner. So what did he attribute that to? He didn't just blame Democrats, which obviously would not be factually accurate. Donald Trump is blaming transgenders. Yes, if it's not for mass shootings, now Donald Trump is going to be blaming transgenders, and I suppose he wants all the supporters to be blaming transgenders in case we have a government shutdown. I'm not making this up. Here's the audio of what Donald Trump had to say about this morning.
They want to have transgender for everybody. These people are crazy, the Democrats. So if it has to shut down, it'll have to shut down. But they're the ones that are shutting down.
What? What did he just say? So let me get this right. What exactly is Donald Trump and Republicans demanding? Democrats have to agree that everyone is not transgender? Like, I don't understand. I don't even understand that statement to begin with. It's so ludicrous and it's so out there and so crazy. But Donald Trump was asked, now that Comey's been indicted, who's the next person that's going to be on your list, sir? Well, listen to his response to this question.
I'm James Comey. Now that James Comey has been indicted, who is the next person on your list in this retribution?
It's not a list, but I think there'll be others. I mean, they're corrupt. These were corrupt, radical left Democrats. Because Comey essentially was he's worse than a Democrat. I would say the Democrats are better than Comey. But no, there'll be others. Look, that's my opinion.
No, it is a list. And what I told all of you when if Donald Trump got elected again, I told all of you that this would happen. This would be 4 years of retribution. this would be 4 years of Donald Trump going after his political opponents. And I was right. Now, James Comey's not going to be found guilty of anything. It's all a charade. It's all political games. But while Americans are losing their medical health care and their Medicaid, they're losing their food stamps, they're losing their jobs, Donald Trump is more concerned about going after his enemies and bailing out other economies. It's absolutely insane. It's ridiculous. And if there is a government shutdown, MAGA Republicans and Donald Trump will find a way to blame transgenders. This is who they are. Before we get to the why and the lies, this is what J.D. Vance had to say yesterday. He was sitting there with Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer in the Oval Office, and he said the most important part of that meeting is that there were Donald Trump 2028 hats there that made the minority leader, J.D. Vance claims, in both the House and the Senate very uncomfortable. Listen to this.
President Trump, he shared some pictures from the Oval Office meeting with Chuck Schumer and with Hakeem Jeffries, with Speaker Johnson and with Thune. And we wanted to ask you about any insight into that meeting, because the last shutdown, Mr. Vice President, was 35 days. Americans can't go, here are the pictures, Americans cannot go that long without getting a paycheck or being furloughed. So can you give us some insight into what they talked about, maybe how we can come to a compromise?
And the hats, the Trump trolling them with 28 hats.
Yeah, thank you, Lawrence. That's the most important part. There are also the Trump 2028 hats, which I think made the majority or the minority leader in both the House and the Senate very uncomfortable. But look,
it should make them uncomfortable.
It didn't make necessarily the people in the room uncomfortable. They were brought out in the middle of the meeting when they were supposed to have a serious talk about this possible government shutdown. And they did it for a photo opportunity. And I'm pretty sure Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, if you asked them about it, they would say it was very stupid and a bizarre stunt. And I guess the idiots that watch Fox News thought it was funny. But it's not funny, because now there are people that are not getting a paycheck. There are very, very
important. The Trump administration, they're all getting their paychecks.
Oh, sure.
Right? Military, no paycheck.
Yeah.
Government workers, public employees, no paycheck. But you know what? Everybody else in the regime is getting their paycheck, no problem. No one has a problem with that? MAGAs don't have a problem with that?
I'll tell you, I have a problem with that, but I also have a problem with the lies that we're going to focus on now being put forth by the right, blaming Democrats. Now, I have the proof right in front of me. It's a blatant lie what they are saying. Let's start with J.D. Vance, though. J.D. Vance saying that the reason why Democrats want a government shutdown is because they think Trump is a dictator, which is obviously a lie, but have a listen to this.
And people are going to suffer because of it. I mean, people who benefit from low-income food programs are going to suffer because of this. If you're flying today, I hope, of course, you arrive safely and on time, but you may not arrive on time because the TSA and the air traffic controllers are not getting paid today. Our military is not getting paid today, starting today. And obviously, the longer this drags on, the worse that it is for the American people. So we are where we are. And to your point, what do Senate Democrats ask for? Well, initially, they said that they wanted to shut down the government because Donald Trump was a dictator. Okay, that's absurd. Then they said they wanted to shut down the government because they wanted hundreds of billions of dollars for health care benefits for illegal aliens. That, of course, is also absurd. And now they're saying they just want to work on ensuring that Americans have low-cost health care. Well, I agree with them. Of course, we all want to ensure that Americans have low-cost health care. So let's work together on that. You don't.
Those are blatant lies. Now, we will get to Mike Johnson in a moment, because he also is spewing the lie that Democrats want health care for all illegals. That is a lie. Let me give you the facts. The fact of the matter is that illegals cannot receive premium tax breaks in the ACA or Medicaid.
Correct.
People who are here illegally have never been eligible for Obamacare subsidies, Medicare, or Medicaid.
They cannot go on the exchange and get Obamacare.
Correct. Number two, what Democrats have been trying to do is undo the changes that would affect refugees and asylum seekers, not people who cross the border illegally. That's what Democrats are trying to do, and they don't want 15 million Americans losing their health care coverage. What do you make of this possible government shutdown? Because I'm confused. Last I checked, Republicans are controlling the House, the Senate, and the White House, but yet they're blaming Democrats. Joe, where do you put the blame on for this?
Oh, Republicans are to blame. They control the federal government. The federal government's shutting down. Ding, that makes sense to me, right? But maybe you disagree with me on this. I was on MSNBC over the weekend and I changed my mind mid-segment. I don't think the Democrats, this is where that I'm a Democrat, we should fight. Republicans own this government. They own all the bad crap they put in that big, ugly bill, all the loss of the health benefits, the rural hospitals closing up, everything. Brian, until the American people feel pain, economic pain, they're not going to move off of Trump. So if I'm a Democrat, you want to keep your government funded for another couple months, do it, baby, and fight Trump on democracy and the rule of law and his tariffs and all this other stuff.
Joe, so I agree with what you just said. I wanted to ask you this. Republicans are claiming that this is Chuck Schumer's shutdown, and they want to give Medicaid to all illegals in this country. J.D. Vance has been lying. What do you make of the lies being put forth from the far right? Because last I checked, the left, they just want to keep the Medicaid in place, and they don't want 15 million people losing their health care coverage.
J.D. Vance and all the Republicans are lying about all of this. They're lying about illegal immigrants getting Medicaid and health benefits. They're lying about all of it. They've all learned from Trump. J.D. Vance is one of the best at it, to lie. Brian, here's the other thing. Why the hell would you be a Democrat and insert yourself in this fight, negotiate some kind of deal with Republicans that Republicans are going to renege on anyways? My God, the Supreme Court has now told Trump 5 times, you don't have to spend congressionally appropriated money. You can do whatever you want with it. So anything the Democrats get in a potential deal, Russell Vought and OMB, they're just going to go back on it and renege on it. And Trump will decide, I'm not going to spend that money. So why even go down that road?
I tend to agree with you, but how nasty is it going to get here over the next week or so, where obviously Republicans are going to be blaming Democrats, Democrats are going to be blaming Republicans, and meanwhile, nothing gets done in Washington, D.C. Oh, yeah, by the way, many of the Republicans are on vacation right now. If they really cared about not getting to this point of a government shutdown, wouldn't they come back to Washington, D.C.?
Yes, but they feel like they've got Democrats by the short hairs. Brian, this is why I think the Democrats misplayed this from the beginning. Like their voters, you and I hear from them, they want us to fight, fight, fight. But pick your fights. I want to fight Trump. Trump is destroying this country. That's the fight I want. If the government shuts down, then Trump can say the Democrat. It just complicates things. No, yeah. Democrats from the beginning should have said, you want to keep all your bad stuff going and keep the government funded, fine. Do it. They should have done. What they should do right now is just say, okay, screw it. We'll keep the government funded and just ignore it and move on.